Good morning, everyone. I'm Ernest, and I bring you greetings from AFRINIC, from Alan and the entire team in Mauritius. And we'll take a few minutes to give you some news about what's been happening over at AFRINIC. Starting with some statistics. Since 2017, we issued about 7.5 million IPv4 addresses, and that was about 36% less than we had issued in 2016. We also issued 113/32s of IPv6 address space, as well as 150 autonomous system numbers. And 2018 so far, we have issued about 10% of A/8 in V4, that's 1.6 million IP addresses, 12/32s of V6 space, and 43 ASNs. Our current IPv4 address inventory is about 67% of A/8. Membership, we had 144 new members last year, and so far this year we have signed on about 40 new members. That brings us to a total membership to date of about 1,570. The total V4 space held by our members is about 102 million IPv4 addresses. V6 space is about 9,200/32s. And on the legacy side, we have about half of A/8 or V4 space held by legacy resource holders. So we are already in the IPv4 exhaustion phase 1 according to our soft landing policy, which defines the various phases of V4 address exhaustion. And we entered phase 1 in April 2017, so we are effectively issuing space from the last /8 that we received from IANA. And in this phase 1, we can only issue a maximum of A/13 of IPv4 address space. We shall be crossing, when we cross to phase 2, the maximum will be A/22, and we shall cross to phase 2 when about A/11 is left in our inventory. We are, however, focusing not so much on how long V4 space will last, so our capacity building team is putting a lot of effort in getting V6 space deployed on the continent by training as many folks on the continent as they can, and sharing as much knowledge as they can through our training programs. A bit of news from the policy development side. We have a couple of policy proposals that are open and under discussion. The first one, named PDP BIS. Our authors like to use this BIS naming a lot. That's the Policy Development Process BIS. It's a full revamp and revision of our policy development process, and it mainly looks at putting in place clearer mechanisms for appeals and disputes. We have this in our current PDP, but it's a bit, it has some issues that could be improved. The authors are also proposing that introducing distinct phases in the policy proposal life cycle, which is lacking currently, and a bit more transparency around consensus gauging, because we have a couple of times when consensus has been declared and the community felt maybe there wasn't consensus. Second proposal, LEM delegations in the AFRINIC reverse DNS. This actually was ratified already by the board, and it's currently going through the first stages of implementation. Third policy proposal that is under discussion is the Internet Number Resources Review proposal. So this one effectively allows AFRINIC to conduct audits on how members are using IPv4 address space as well as other types of resources, but it's mainly focusing on IPv4 space utilization. And these audits can be random audits, or they can be triggered by anybody, a whistleblower. So anybody can call AFRINIC and say, hey, organization X, we feel is misusing IP address space, and please audit them. And this policy would allow for such a scenario to happen. And any member that fails an audit would have their space reclaimed and reallocated. The registration services agreement already has provisions for these audits to happen. The authors felt that there should also be some sort of policy provision for that. Next, IPv4 soft landing BEAS. So this is another proposal that is supposed to be a complete replacement of our current soft landing policy, which defines how we manage space from the last/8. The key highlights from this proposal is that in phase 1, currently we can issue up to a /13 from the last/8. So this proposal reduces that to /18. And it also reserves a /12 to facilitate V6 deployment. So this proposal, although it's currently under discussion, but it had actually crossed that stage last year. We had a meeting in Lagos where consensus was declared on it at our face-to-face meeting, and according to our PDP, it had to go into a last call period, and it went into last call, and consensus was again declared after last call. However, some members in the community felt that there was no consensus and used the mechanisms in the policy development process to appeal the decision of the co-chairs. So the appeals committee indeed upheld that appeal and overturned the decision of the co-chairs, and the proposal is back on the mailing list for discussion. We received a couple of IPv6 related policy proposals, 4 of them from the same author. I believe some of these have already been proposed in other RIR communities. The first one is IPv6 policy and references update, received on sometime last month. And it removes or corrects several inconsistencies in the current IPv6 policy text. And also the proposal improves on the definition for utilization. Next up, from the same author, clarification on IPv6 sub-assignments, also received last month, clarifies the concept of sub-assignments in Article 6.8 of the AFRINIC Consolidated Policy Manual. Next, from the same author, IPv6 initial allocation update, also ensures policy text is aligned with a wider set of possible V6 deployment scenarios, also from the same author. And next up from the same author, IPv6 PI update. So this proposal updates the relevant text in the Consolidated Policy Manual to accommodate the possibility to obtain V6 PI space, even if the requesting party has no V4 PI space. So the current process in our policy provisions is that if you want IPv6 PI space, you must be able to show that you either have V4 PI space or you can qualify to receive V4 PI space. So this is the issue that the author is trying to address. Last but not least, a bit of news from our capacity building team. We've been doing a lot of training, especially IPv6 training, as I mentioned before. And last year we reached about 639 individuals on the continent from 19 distinct African countries, where we aggressively tried to give them hands-on knowledge on deploying IPv6. The same capacity building department is in charge of a program called Fire Africa. This is a program that allocates seed money to individuals with some interesting projects that do align with our mission. And we gave out about $350,000 US to 13 winners in this area. The same capacity building program is in charge of giving out fellowships and looking for suitable fellows to attend our meetings, and so far 12 have been selected this year to attend our upcoming meeting in Dakar, in Senegal. Our next meeting is next month, starting late April with some AFNOG workshops. AFNOG is a bit similar to what you have here as NANOG, but our public policy meetings start around the 9th of May. So it's going to be an interesting meeting. You guys are welcome to come and join us in Dakar. Thank you. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Microphones are open. Any questions for Ernest? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernest.